The town of Englee is trying to bring attention to a large issue. The Daly Brothers fish plant, which went bankrupt years ago, has been deteriorating and falling into the water, causing a major hazard. We spoke with the mayor about the issue. Is actually facing a very serious situation right now. There's an election campaign going on. What would you say to the local candidates who are running in that election about your town's issue?
Well, our major issue, of course, is our fish plant, our dilapidated fish plant, which needs to be taken away, demolished. Our council has been at it relentlessly for the past 6 or 7 years, and we seem to go after stumble, hurdle after hurdle, and we've got a fish plant that's basically falling into the water, creating navigational hazard and so on, and we certainly need some help to get it cleaned up.
Now, the latest round of storm that we just had, has that made the deterioration of that property even worse?
Yes, indeed. As we speak, I mean, piece by piece is falling away, and of course, northeast wind blows right into that into the facility now with it all open. You can appreciate as time goes, it's just going to get worse and worse. Just more and more is going to fall into the water, and of course, there's things in there that we don't want to fall in as well. I mean, we've got equipment there. There's things with oils and different chemicals and stuff in there that very well could create environmental hazards for us.
Now, does your town have the resources necessary to deal with this issue on your own?
No, our tax base, our biggest tax base was that facility, and when the company went bankrupt in 2004, ever since that time, of course, our major taxpayer is now not around, and we're basically most of our people had to move away to work, and as a result, most people that live here now are seniors. So we don't have very much of a tax base to be able to tear down a facility like that.
Now, the PC government, have you approached them and asked them for assistance with this matter, and what was their response?
We have been asking them and continue to ask them every time in the last 6 or 7 years that there's been a change of mayor, change of leadership. When the Premier was here last time, Premier Williams, he said the place had to go. We've been working relentlessly. They've given us different things to do. We've tried, we've done whatever they've asked of us, and yet we seem to be no further ahead.
Now, you've also taken upon yourself to start a petition in town. How's that been going? Have you been seeing anybody signing up to your petition?
As far as I know, one of the town's residents took that on herself, Bess McWhorter, and from what I've seen, it's going quite well. A lot of people are signing it. So
right now the municipal town is asking for the provincial government to step in and actually demolish the property? Well,
that's what we would like to see. That's what it's going to come down to. When it went into receivership, well, it was given over to the bank, and we've had correspondence with the bank. They've said that they basically don't own it, and that is the responsibility of the owners. They went to receivership, so how do we expect to get anything from them? The bank doesn't want any responsibility, and there's nobody left but provincial government for us to look to.
So what do you say to the provincial government stating that the money that was set aside in the last budget wasn't earmarked for anything to do with publicly non-public owned properties like your fish plant? Do you think that some money from that fund should have gone towards that?
Well, we've realised that it's going to take a fair chunk of dollars to take that out of it, and whatever resources from whichever department that we can get. Actually, we've been trying to work with 3 or 4 different departments to get enough money to do that. But the money which you speak, we were since told that that money was earmarked for government's own infrastructure, some of their own provincial buildings that they needed removed.
So now, what happens if you can't get assistance from the provincial government? Is there any way for your municipality to do something about the state of the property and to make it safe for the local community?
Well, unless we take the law into our own hands, I don't see, the only thing that I can see right now is maybe if the place froze over in the winter, that we could then use a bulldozer or something to demolish some of it out onto the ice, whatever. But then again, we still leaves us with another problem, because we got to get rid of it. We had a local contractor who did an estimate, and he was telling us there's something like 500 tandem loads there. That's a conservative estimate, according to him, to all off the landfill. And that's another concern too. Right now the landfill is 35 kilometres away, and if that changes, if we get a super site in Western Newfoundland, or even worse, the Central, 600-700 kilometres away, you can appreciate how that's going to increase the expense of getting rid of that.
Okay. So if you had any message for the candidates who are out and about for this weekend getting ready for the provincial campaign, what would your message be to them?
Well, my message to them would be that we direly need their assistance. We need their help, and the only way this is going to get resolved is through the provincial government.
In Englee, this is Tim Clark reporting.